Kajal Mehra from TimesTech, and today here we are at Electronica, Productronica India 2024, and with us is Mr. Ram Sathappan, Senior Director, System and Application Marketing from ALLEGRO Microsystems. Hi Ram,
Hello Kajal.
I would like to welcome you in our platform, and could you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Ram Sathappan, and I have been in the semiconductor industry now for about 28 years. And I've been with ALLEGRO for a little over 2 years. And I manage the global marketing and applications team, whose main job is to position and promote our products, as well as support our customers in realizing their product designs. That's what we mainly do. So my team is spread around the world, and I'm based in Dallas, Texas.
Okay. So let's move to the Q&A session. Ram, my first question is that ALLEGRO has been a pioneer in magnetic sensing. Could you give us a sneak peek into how your extreme sense TMR technology is pushing the boundaries of what's possible? What's the coolest or most surprising application of this technology that you have came across?
Okay, very good. Good question. So TMR is actually a newer. It's a magnetic technology again, but it's a newer version of the magnetic sensing technology. So there is typically what's called a Hall effect magnetic sensing, which has been around for a long time. So the technology was found almost more than 100 years ago, but products have been made on it for 30, 40 years, Hall effect based products. And MR, which is magnetoresistive, is just a different type of sensing technology, magnetic sensing technology, has been around for 10, 15 years. And there are three different types. There was AMR, then there was GMR, and then there is now TMR. TMR is the latest in the MR based magnetic sensing technology. The key advantages of TMR, which is going to really change the way sensing happens in the future, is that first and foremost, it's a lot more sensitive to small changes in magnetic field compared to the older technologies. It can really recognize very minute changes in magnetic field. What that really means is that earlier you had to have a big change to detect a difference and say, whether an underlying character has changed. But now with even a small change, when you can detect it, what it allows you to do is build products that are more accurate and with a higher resolution. And so that's the one benefit. The second one is that the TMR technology is such that it has a faster response to the detection of that magnetic field. From detecting the magnetic field to generating an output, the time it takes is much faster in TMR compared to the older technology. So the advantage of that is that in circuits where you have very expensive electronics and you want to protect them, you need a fast response current sensor. And so that's what TMR allows us to do. The last one is really the cool one, which I will tell you is what brings about the unique product. So what TMR does is it uses less current than other technologies to do the same job, which is to measure the magnetic field and give you the proportional current or position data. So what you have now is that instead of microampere current consumption, you're going into nanoamperes. So you're going one dimension more. So what that means is, in simple sense, you have a longer battery life. So you were using more current before, now you use even lesser, so you can do longer battery life products. So the coolest product that I found of TMR is really a continuous glucose monitoring. So if you know the patches people wear for diabetics to measure the glucose constantly, so you can see your glucose numbers on your phone, and it does Bluetooth to the device, and it's continuously measuring your glucose, and you can see it on a graph on your phone anytime you want. Because the traditional method is you have to prick your hand, get a little bit of blood, you put it on a sensor, and then you measure blood glucose. That's a traditional way. But there's been continuous glucose monitors that have been around. The biggest challenge they had is the battery life. It runs out too quick, and so people have to apply it again and again too often. So now we are already at almost 2 weeks. You can sense with a single patch. And people are already, for 2 weeks you don't have to change it. So you can get continuous reading for 2 weeks on a single patch. So a diabetic has to only put it on once every 2 weeks. And they're already making improvements with this TMR technology. It's going to take it to a month now.
Really?
So you have to change once a month, one sensor a month. That's it. And if with the additional improvements, we can go to even few months over time. You will see that happening. What that helps is, if you have continuous awareness of your glucose, you can control what you eat. And so you control your diabetes. That's the reason. Otherwise, you'll be pricking all day to measure the blood, which nobody wants to do. So That's one of the coolest app I can think of for TMR.
That's really very cool. I mean, expanding the battery life from few hours to week and then to month. So moving ahead to the next question, that 48 volt system are becoming a game changer for energy efficiency.
Yep.
Can you walk us through how Allegro is unlocking its potential, especially in sectors like automotive and e-mobility?
Mm-hmm.
How far off do you think we are from seeing 48V system become the standard across multiple industries?
Okay, that's a very good question. So the 48 volt actually is already in some industries.
Okay.
So the data server market is already using 48 volts.
Yeah.
So they have realized the benefits, because in data center, the biggest cost factor is not the servers, is the energy it uses to run the servers.
Yeah.
So they are very worried about the energy efficiency and how much electricity they're using. So they have already adopted 48 volt. So we today supply air-cooled fans that run on 48 volt already, and we have got products now with 48 volt to run pumps that will do liquid cooling.
Okay.
So those are already going to 48 volt. In automotive, 48 volt is going to be very beneficial again, especially in electric cars. So if you have a complete battery electric car, 48 volt is going to become a norm. The reason is, again, you want to reduce the amount of times you convert the voltage. Because if you think of it, you may have an AC charger or a high voltage DC charger. You charge the battery in the car, which is already at either 400 volts or 800 volts.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to bring it all the way back down to 12 volt, you're going to convert it multiple times.
Yes.
So you're losing energy every time you convert.
Okay.
So that's the biggest challenge in it. And so if you go to a 48 volt system, you're reducing one additional level of conversion to go to 12 volt. So now you're going to save a significant amount of energy. So there is clear benefits in energy efficiency with 48 volt. And Allegro has a unique advantage. So our process technology on which the products are based, whether the sensor or the motor drivers or the gate drivers, is based on a process technology that can handle up to over 110 volts. So we have a technology that's already built to support a high voltage process. So it's very easy for us to take our design from a 12 volt or a 24 volt, because 24 volt is what is used in commercial systems.
Yeah.
So we've extended it easily to 48 volt. We already have about 6 or 7 products in the market that operate at 48 volts. So people can start their designs today. So there is already one car in the market that's based on a 48 volt platform. And we are seeing many other customers. Almost all the major car manufacturers are either already developing or researching in 48 volt. So I think it's only a matter of few years when more and more cars are going to go 48 volt. So it's very much tied to the electric car market. As the electric car market evolves and grows, more and more will go to 48 volts. And they will save energy because they have to. Because in the electric car, the only metric everyone cares about is the kilometer per charge or the miles per charge.
Exactly.
And you need to extend it, and you have to find every way to save energy.
So in the world of clean energy and e-mobility, it feels like there's always a new innovation around the corner. How does Allegro keep pace with the rapid evolution while staying true to its core mission? And are there any upcoming trends that you think will reshape the landscape of clean energy and automation in the next 5 years?
Okay.
Or I can say 1 year.
Yeah, no, actually it's changing very fast, like you said. Clean energy and e-mobility have a common theme underneath, which I'll explain. It's power conversion. So you're always converting energy from one form to another.
Yeah.
So for example, if you take solar, right, solar system, you're taking a solar energy, converting into a direct current or DC energy, and then you may translate it back to AC to supply it into your home. Or you may keep the DC to a lower voltage and store it in a battery for use later.
Yeah.
So there's always a conversion happening from AC to DC, DC to DC, or DC to AC. So every time you do a conversion, and in the car, it's the same thing. Like I explained, you come from the external charging station to the battery in the car, and then converting it again to use it across the electronics in the car. So there is constant conversion happening. So anytime you do these conversions, energy loss happens.
Yes.
So to prevent that energy loss, you need systems that will measure it accurately and quickly.
Yeah.
And then again, that's where the Allegro's magnetic sensing technology comes into play. And we have the fastest response current sensors, which is the higher bandwidth, results in fast sensing. We have one of the most accurate current sensors. And we also have the broadest portfolio of current sensors available. So we are constantly innovating. And TMR, for example, is one of our innovations that has again given us an edge over our competition
Mm-hmm.
and helping our customers meet their goals. So we will continue to innovate. Innovation is kind of inherent in Allegro's thinking. So we already know what the next problem is because we are very close to the customers and we identify the next problem. We're already working on it. Like I mentioned in the next electronica, you're going to hear another product which is a first in the industry that no one else has seen. So we'll continuously, and since we are number one in magnetic sensing today, the bullseye is on our back.
Yeah.
So everyone is after us. So it's our job to stay ahead 4 steps all the time. And so we do that by innovation. So we always think, what can we do different that will solve the problem? And the way you can do that is staying close to your customers. So they can always tell you what the problems they are facing and what they are seeing is happening in the industry. So we can adapt quickly and move. So that's why we were able to adapt to the 48 volt really quickly, because we knew we have the technology and we saw the trend of the voltage change. We said, okay, let's build some products. So we released a 48 volt product way before the market even was using it. Like I said, for the data server market.
Yeah.
So it establishes itself even before the market's ready.
That's great. So your expertise spans across e-mobility, clean energy, cloud, and automation.
Yes.
If you had to pick one area where you see the most untapped potential for sensing and power integrated circuits, what would it be and why? Is there a future technology that Allegro is particularly excited to be a part of?
Really good question. So we are very focused on e-mobility. We know
Okay.
exactly what is needed. So that's going well. So the one that you think it's untapped is automation. So automation is really right. Again, it's about efficiency.
Yeah.
And that's the reason automation is being done. And to automate anything, you need to sense. So sensing becomes a very critical part again. And also the drive part is also important. The motor drivers and the gate drivers are also important because you're going to sense, you're going to make some decisions based on your sense. Then you're going to drive some motors or drive some relays or some switches.
Exactly.
So then we have the components on both ends of it.
Mm-hmm.
So automation is one area I think is going to see the biggest adoption of both sensing and power ICs in the coming few years. And we are very focused on developing that market. We are already in a few robots. We're getting into more and more robots, drones, and automated machinery in factories, which is all adopting a lot of sensing technology. And all types of sensors, position sensors, speed sensors, current sensors, all kinds of sensors are getting adopted across. And it is going to happen because everybody wants efficiency of their equipment, right? That's how you get maximum efficiency is if it's automated. More and more automation leads to more usage of the machinery.
Yes.
Even when a human is not there, the machinery is still continuously running.
Exactly.
So automation is going to be a key.
That is the benefit.
Yeah.
So with Allegro's focus on driving innovation in sensing for various industries, what's one industry or application where you think your technology can truly revolutionize how things are done but hasn't fully tapped into yet? How do you see your sensors reshaping this space in the future, near future?
It's a very good point. There is an aspect of cooling that we found which is very interesting.
Okay.
And what we found was that, see, like I told you, we are already in the data server market where our products are used for air cooled and liquid cooled.
Yeah.
And interestingly, heating happens in a lot of places, and especially in electric car as well.
Exactly.
So the battery gets heated up a lot. And if the battery heats up, the life of the battery goes down. So now there is a cooling requirement in the cars as well. So we believe that that's an untapped market that is already it's happening. It's no longer untapped. It was untapped a little while ago. Yeah. Earlier they were letting it go. But now cooling is becoming a standard across all of the vehicles. Now what happens is that it's a reuse of the same technology for us. As far as Allegro is concerned, we already have it. Yeah. It's proven. So you can reuse it. And the added advantage is that now they can use the cooling and heating. It's not just cooling. Okay. So in winter, you got to heat the battery up so it performs efficiently. So if you're in a very cold region, now you got to heat it up and get the the electronics in the right spot because it may be minus 40 degrees and you're in a very cold space.
Yes.
So now what we have is we have the same system of pumps and fans that can circulate your HVAC heating and cooling around the vehicle. So it's perfect for any temperature, any condition. So we believe that is what is going to really help. And we call it now thermal management instead of just cooling. because
Okay.
it's no longer just
Yeah,
cooling because you have the
exactly.
heat as well.
Yeah.
So that's why we call it thermal management. And so thermal management is an area that we think is going to be becoming more and more prominent across many industries. So what we realized is that it was there in the servers, it's going in cars. I think the next will be robotics and factory equipment.
Okay.
Because they're going to be running 24/7, they are going to heat up and they're going to have issues. So you're going to have to cool them or heat them as well.
Yeah.
And so we see a reuse across industries. So this we believe is going to be a very big benefit for us and for the industry in general.
Exactly. Everybody is thinking about cooling the batteries, but heating is also mandatory.
Yeah.
According to the temperature.
Yep.
So, in terms of sustainability, Allegro is well positioned with your contributions to clean energy.
Yep.
How do you balance the need for cutting edge innovation with the drive for a greener, more sustainable future? Could you share any specific sustainability goals or milestone Allegro is aiming for?
So Allegro is very, very ESG conscious. We realize that it's very important to be environmentally, socially, and governmentally compliance. As a company, it's very important for us. We just released actually our latest ESG report. And if you look into it, you'll notice that we are not looking at it only from how much energy we use or how much water we use, how much we save or how much we recycle. We're also looking at how our products make an impact down the line. So if you notice, when I talked about TMR, it uses less energy. So by extending a battery life, we are reducing the amount of energy used to recharge every time. So we are indirectly impacting energy conservation in other products around the world.
Exactly.
So that's how we are approaching it. The impact of our products on ESG, in addition to our own consumption and usage and recycling, is what we focus on. So I think as a company, we think that we should really focus on products that will make an environmental impact overall. One other example I'll give you, our products, angle sensors, torque sensors, and motor drivers go into electric power steering. Okay? You'll think of it as it's only enabling as a power steering function. So instead of doing a very hard steering, it eases your steering in a car. But you know what an additional thing does is the EPS is actually extending the range of the gasoline usage in a petrol car, as well as an electric car. Because the electric power steering system inherently reduces the amount of gasoline or petrol used plus electricity used in moving the car.
Okay.
Yeah. So by putting those products in, we are helping enable electric steering, and electric steering ends up extending the range of the vehicle. So that's how we approach it. So we really are very focused on designing our products in such a way that they consume less energy, reduce loss in the conversion process. So overall, the impact is that we save energy across the world beyond just what we use or what we consume to manufacture the products. But when our products get used, it reduces the energy being used across the world.
So this is kind of a responsible innovation.
What do they call the word? Give it forward, right? We're pushing it forward, helping others conserve energy on top. Pay it forward. That's the right word.
Okay. So this is going to be my last question. When you think about the evolution of Allegro's sensing and power ICs over the past decade, what's been the most defining moment or breakthrough for the company? Is there an innovation that you are particularly proud of or that has had a lasting impact on Allegro's direction?
I would say if I have to take all of our portfolios, there are quite a few that have made a huge difference. But the one, so they're like the high voltage gate drivers, the isolated gate drivers that we supply are going to really help, again, speed up time to market, improve designs on a high voltage system. But the one that has had the biggest impact, I would say, is really current sensors.
Okay.
So the innovations that we have done in current sensors is truly changing how energy conversion happens, reducing energy loss, as well as improving energy efficiency. And even one more factor, which I didn't talk about yet, is improving power density. Power density is basically if you have a certain space and you generate a certain amount of power. But if you can generate the same power in half the space, you have double your power density.
Yeah.
So we focus on that in our current sensors a lot. So current sensors have truly changed what we can do to energy industry in general. And energy is kind of the center of everything today.
Yes, exactly.
And so we believe that if you ask me what we have done in terms of innovation, the bandwidth, so we have the highest bandwidth current sensor in the market today at 5 megahertz. So we are ahead of everyone else, which allows for fast response. We have some of the most accurate current sensors in the market, and we have some of the most unique packaging, which eliminates the need for modules or heavy circuits. So we simplify the design in such a way. So we have done some very innovative packaging innovation. So you can measure very high currents in a really tiny package, like the one I showed you.
Yes.
We're able to measure 1,000 amps in a tiny little package, 6 by 3 millimeter.
Exactly.
So we have
That's
really
a huge innovation, I guess.
typically those currents were measured in modules.
Yeah.
Yeah, the modules that were like 10, 12 centimeters big and about 20 centimeters wide. We have shrunk them down to 6 to 3. So just on an IC, you can measure it. So those are the innovations really in current sensing, I think, is where we have made the biggest impact to the energy industry across the board. Energy and e-mobility, everything. Wherever energy is used, we made an impact.
So thank you so much, Ram, for giving us your time and the valuable insights for the Allegro, and all the very best for electronica and productronica and the years ahead. And thank you so much for watching us.
Thank you. And thank you, Kaj.